Hi guys, so I wanted to create a video for all of you that focuses on backward design lesson planning. Many of you seemed pretty comfortable with it on our previous faculty meeting. However, many of you were not able to attend, and some of you may just need a little refresher on the concept. So I wanted to provide this walkthrough for all of you as a reference because backward design lesson planning is not going away. We all need to be very comfortable with it. You will have expectations for producing this frequently. So first, I'm going to ask that all of you create a lesson plan for one of your classes in the next week or so, if you haven't already done so, that uses this template. I'd like you to chat with one of your colleagues, make sure you're on the right track for using it, and then if you felt like you needed more training, you need to come and seek me out so I can support you in that, because the ultimate goal will be every single time that you have your formal formal observation, whenever I will email you and say, I'm going to be in your class to observe on this day at this time, please send me your formal lesson plan for the day. That means that you need to be able to properly fill one of these out. It goes in your employee file, so I want to make sure that you have all the tools in your tool belt to do that properly, so it's a great reflection of your abilities and understanding and your lesson delivery. The lesson plan template in itself isn't all that different from previous ones we've used. It just has a couple of different labels on some of the boxes, so we're going to talk about each one and kind of how to fill it out and what it means. So we're going to walk through every one of them. My hope is that all of your classes begin to take shape of a backward design focused course. So starting with your syllabi and then moving into each daily lesson plan is backward focused. And a lot of you might go, what is backward design? We have done a couple of pieces on it. The first one we had done was with Ash Carter, the Director of Instruction. He had come to campus and he had done a training session with all of us. You guys might remember that's the lesson where he talked about getting rid of breadsticks in your class and just focusing on the learning outcomes and items that really help our students master those outcomes and objectives rather than just adding more breadsticks. And we also had an article we were asked to read and do a little write-up on. I sent it in your email, and it was all about backward design, so you can refer back to some of those previous resources you have from those, look at your emails. But essentially, backward design is creating a lesson that focuses with the end goal in mind and puts reinforcement pieces in there that are only focused towards getting our students to be able to reach those goals. I know many of you might think, well, of course, isn't that what we always do? And honestly, I think no, we don't always do that. I think after a while we've taught classes for so long that we start to have a little focus lost on what exactly that objective was and what exactly our students are supposed to be able to do to prove that they've met that goal. Maybe we have an assignment that we really liked and we thought it was fun, and now this one assignment that used to take 15 minutes now takes a whole day, and wait a minute, does this really help us get to that objective? Maybe by taking that assignment out, we can focus more on meeting that objective, which will hopefully help them more in their profession or towards those mastery items. So essentially that is the reason we want to move forward as a college through backward design. We are career-focused education. We are accelerated learning. We need to always keep those learning objectives in mind and make sure that is what we are teaching to. Not teaching to the test, but teaching to those outcomes that we promise our students they will be able to do when they leave us. Okay? So I have in front of me here, so on your screen, you see the lesson plan template. It's actually a 2-page document. The first page looks like this. This will be the one that you're going to be filling out prior to your class time. And then I will scroll down so you can see the second page here. The second page will be filled out after you've delivered the lesson, and it's a reflection for yourself, some notes for yourself to determine what the next day needs to look like, and also what you will do differently next time you teach the same lesson. So that will be to be filled out later. So going back up to the first page, which is probably the most challenging one to fill out, we're going to kind of walk through what you would do in each section here together. So first, we just need to basically fill in every box. The first box, it's our class. So what's the class that we're teaching? When you're working on this lesson plan template, I want it to be for the class that you're teaching the next day. I want it to be an exercise that you can really put into practice quickly for that initial time we're doing it. Later, you can do lots of future planning when you become really good at this, but I want you to be able to be comfortable filling this out and then trying it out, and then if it's not working, fill it out again for the next day and try it out and come visit with me and those kind of things. So essentially, let's pick a class. Okay, let's pick HVAC 101, let's say, and I don't know exactly what's in that course, but I think we'll figure it all out here. And the next part to fill out is the day of the module. You'll notice it doesn't say the date. The date doesn't really matter, but by having the day of the mod in there, it shows us, okay, so next time I teach HVAC 101, not what was taught on August 15th, it's what was taught on day 5. Okay, what was taught on day 9? So I could potentially use that again for the same day of the module. So let's say this one is for Monday, so day 9, I believe. Okay. The next section is materials. And when you're creating a lesson plan, you really want to be as detailed as possible. And the reason for that is the next time you teach this course, you want to be able to pull out this document and go, ooh, what do I need to do this? What do I need to be able to have all prepared so I can walk in and have the most successful class? So if we're very specific on here, not just in our materials, but in every box, it should be easily replicated. One of the things I noticed from our previous training on this, our Friday training for the faculty meeting, was a lot of the boxes were filled with one word or one line. Be as detailed as possible. Otherwise, if you just put in, like, let's say learning opportunities, you just put PowerPoint. Well, what PowerPoint was it? Materials, oh, I need a PowerPoint in here. Well, what PowerPoint? So be very specific in these boxes. So again, it can be easily replicated. Okay. So let's say for this one, I need to have my computer. I need to have well, to be honest, we might actually need to go back and fill this later because we don't always already know what we're going to do. So let's hold off on that box. But I bet we're going to have some lecture going on. So let's say, what is our learning outcome for the day? So I hope all of you know where you get your learning outcomes as well as your daily objectives. Those should all come from your course outlines that are located in the curriculum repository. Now, you can find your learning outcomes from your syllabus, but you will not find your daily objectives there. So it's really important that you always start, every time you teach a course, you start from the curriculum repository and retrieve that course outline. It's especially important because some of you might not have taught this class for, let's say, 6 months, and it's very possible that something has changed on that course outline. Maybe a unit objective has been added, maybe a learning outcome has been removed, and how do you know unless you're going to that repository, okay? So let's say our learning outcome is students will be able to recover refrigerant, okay? The daily objective is demonstrate recovery of refrigerant using appropriate procedure, let's say. Okay, so then we move down the boxes here and we have the previewing strategy box. If you had done lesson planning previously, you would actually know that this is not a new box. Throughout our training as faculty, we've called it a couple of different things. Previewing, we've called it a hook, we've called it an anticipatory set, Essentially what that means is something to get the students excited about what's to come, get their brains thinking about the material you will teach them. So what's going to get them excited about learning recovering refrigerant, what would pique their interest. Okay, so maybe it is a video on recovery. So maybe it's from YouTube. So it's www. And I'm going to put that very specific one in there so that maybe next time I can just pull up that link and it'll work wonderfully, and I don't have to go, oh, I wonder what happened to that video I used that one time 6 months ago. Okay? And now we get into the meat of our lesson. So again, you always start with the objective. So our objective is demonstrate recovery of refrigerant. Now, here's where it's tricky. Here's where that backward component really comes in. Okay? So a lot of the instructors will go right to thinking like, oh, yeah, let me get all my PowerPoints out. Let me get all these activities that I've always done out. What I want you to stop and really think about, really take time in, is if our objective is demonstrate recovery of refrigerant, what is the ultimate goal there? What proof or evidence do I need my students to show me that will prove that they know how to do this? Okay. What pieces of student evidence will prove it? Okay. So, well, I would imagine in this case, students actually performing the procedure is going to be really, really the ultimate goal. So let's see. Student performs refrigerant recovery following all, let's make this up, 20 steps on the skill off. So that's the ultimate proof, let's say. Is there anything else that might prove that our students can demonstrate recovery of refrigerant? I don't know, maybe that's it. Okay. So let's stop there. So we know what our evidence, our ultimate evidence of learning was. I'm the instructor and I can watch my student from step 1 to step 20 properly do this procedure. That's pretty important. And I imagine you're not going to just do that in one quick session, but that is the ultimate goal for this student. Okay, so let's hop over to this next box here, the learning opportunities box. Essentially, this is the box where the instructor goes, what elements do I need to have in place? What teaching moments do I need to put in to make sure my students are competent enough to do this, to produce whatever this evidence is? So what kind of teaching moments do I need to create to do that? Well, let's see. So, recovering refrigerant, we're going to use all my HVAC knowledge here. Maybe we need to have a lecture on EPA guidelines for refrigerant recovery. Okay, so maybe we need that. Let's see. Maybe we need a lecture on the steps of refrigerant recovery. So somebody to walk through verbally and visually. I would imagine that we would need the instructor demo of refrigerant recovery, and so on. So what teaching moments do I need to have for them to be able to do this? Okay, and it's as simple as that. You can even be more detailed in here, put exactly whatever that lecture or PowerPoint is called right in that box. You might have additional boxes to fill out, or this sounds to me like it's a very big objective, and so if you only have one row filled out but it's very long, that's perfectly fine, because this to me sounds like it's going to be a task that takes a while. But I put all those different learning opportunities right in that box. So Now, after completing all of these, my students, in theory, would be able to perform this. Okay?